Hey guys, welcome back. This is another trade recap video. This one will be about me trading the trending markets. You will see how I targeted these highs right here on the Nasdaq and why I went long in the first place. So I'm just gonna get right into it. The first thing is you can see this drop down that happened. We know that I talk about those imbalances that are left behind. Right now we are on the 1 minute time frame and you can see there aren't really any vectors or imbalances like this one. You can see this blue and green. This when you see a drop, when you see negative candles, it should be red or purple candles forming, but no candles formed, which means the price didn't move down that fast. But we can see just by the nature of how fast they dropped down that the imbalances were left out, which we can also see on the Nasdaq as well. Look at that. Do you see the total amount of contracts transacted here at this value area? But focus on the value area high, how there isn't that much contracts transacted on the Nasdaq. So that's this fast move that happens, and those are the places in the charts that I like to trade towards. And if we go to the 30-second time frame, we would probably see some vectors that we can trade towards. Another clue for the longs is this W formation. You can see how the first leg is higher than the second leg, which is the first thing that you'll look for when you're trading the W formation. You want to see a drop, you want to see a retrace, another drop down, trap all the sellers that are thinking this is the continuation to the downside, and then you will see a sharp move to the upside. This move up that breaks this high right here usually is a very fast one, and this is the break where I entered my trade in the first place. You will see how this candle closes strongly, and then you will see a nice trend to the upside, which was very strong. Another thing for the longs is of course these buyers that came in on the DOM. So of course we look for the DOM for the most of the confirmations when it comes to trading. You can see market orders that are coming in, 182, 126. So there is a lot of buying coming in. Same with the S&P as well, 193, 134. So when you look to the buyers and then you compare them to the sellers, you can see there is much more buying happening as opposed to Nasdaq and S&P, which you can also see with the delta here. You can see it's mostly positive delta. So those are the two clues that I pay attention to the most when I look for continuations or when I look for the longs in a trending market. Another thing is these offers. You will see when I play the clip throughout the video how you will see people placing offers for big offers than the average on the Nasdaq. When you see that, price likes to magnet to those zones so they can transact on those big offers. Same with the bids and the offers here on the S&P. We're going to focus on speed of the move, how fast price pushes up, how fast it comes down. Can we see a market memory from which price likes to push up from? So if you see a drop down, you will usually see that they like to push up from the same place every time. And you will see that throughout the video as well. I will point out when that happens. We're also going to focus on the iceberg orders that are coming in. You can see how someone is selling 58, but someone is matching that 58 sell with 101 buys or 101 bids. So someone is selling or someone is adding bids and buying from the sellers, which means price will not drop down because the amount of sellers that are coming in is not sustained enough to break the amount of buyers that are buying from the sellers, if that makes sense. And the same is for the offers right here, but we can see what you can see on the offers is that they're pulling from the offers, which means they want to sell higher, which of course means if no one is selling here, that means price buyers will easily push price up, which is of course what we want to see if we are long. So I'm just gonna point out some more things throughout the video. So yeah, let's just play the clip and see what this trade was about and why I held it. Also, if you like the way I teach, I do offer a course that has everything you need in order to trade the DOM from setups to execution. So if you're interested, just message me on Discord and I will share the details with you guys. So there's that break to the upside that I'm talking about. Focus on how easily it pushed up. You can see there was very little resistance when it comes to them pushing up. And then when they try to drop down, just focus on how long it takes them to drop down. Or even if there is any retrace down that happens. If you do see such a big move up, what you want to focus on is how big the retrace is. If you see the price is right down here, and then you see a fast move up, and then you see just as a fast move down, and they come back to the same point from which they pushed up, that's usually a bad sign that you probably won't see a trending market or a trending move to the upside. What you do want to see is if price is down here, you see an easy move up, then you see people trade, they trade, you see some sellers coming in, they drop, but then when they drop, you see someone on the bids buying from the sellers. That's the first clue. Second clue, they don't come to the point from which the original move started, but they come back to maybe the halfway and then they move up again. They break this high easily. You see buyers coming in and then you see a push up. People are pulling from the offers. No one is trying to sell and bids and buyers are easily pushing price up. And you will see that a lot throughout the video. This is a pretty long video, so I'm just gonna speed up the clip so we can find some interesting places in the chart. So do you see how they trade? Now this is the small retrace that I'm talking about, but focus on the amount of sellers that are coming in and then focus on the buyers. You will see there is much more buying. This 112 seller came in, but they couldn't push down, and then you see that move up. You can see how no one is really selling here, and then how easily they push up. You can see they're pulling from the offers right here, and they're adding onto the bids. Nasdaq drops down, pushes up quickly. They drop down, they push up quickly. Also, another thing that we will focus on is the EMAs right here. This red EMA and this yellow one. And you will see how price trended above it, which gave us a conviction to hold the trade. Right now, delta is positive. That's the thing that we're focusing on. If there are buyers coming in, if the delta is positive, if they're actually moving up. Do you see how easily they're moving up? I'm just gonna stop that in the clip. This is moving a bit too fast. I just want to show you guys what I look for when in a trade. So you can see how they're buying, but someone is on the offers, trying to sell into the buyers, but there is not enough sellers that are able to hold the demand of the buyers, and that's why the price pushes up. Right now we're just searching value. The offers are coming in. Look at the amount of buyers that are coming in. Focus on the delta. It's all buying. And they're easily moving up. Now we are kind of stuck. And then you see another push up, which is backed by, again, buyers coming in. You can see, focus on the bids. You rarely see anyone pulling from the bids, but you always see someone is pulling from the offers because this move up is strong. The sellers are kind of scared and they don't want to sell here, and maybe they want to sell up higher. Now this is the retrace down. Focus how fast it drops, but now focus on the bids and how someone will buy from the sellers. Do you see that? This is very important. Focus on this 3-digit sell, and you will see how they're selling. But someone's on the bids like, no, we will not let you drop down. Yeah, you can sell, but you can sell right here, and there is no reason for you to drop down. And then focus on how fast they push up. See, bids matching the sells, and then you see a push up. To be fair, it's not that much buyers that came in when you saw that push up. That's why they dropped down. So right now I'm just waiting for more buyers to step in to sustain this move to the upside. Again, pulling from the offers. No one wants to sell, so they will easily push up. Right now delta is negative, but what we're seeing is price is not really dropping down, even though they're selling. Even though there is more selling than buying in this zone, you notice that the price is not dropping, which is absorption. They're absorbing all the sellers, and they're just trapping them. And then it's just a matter of time before they push up. And then the short covering happens. When you sell and you want to get out from the position and it goes against you, you have to buy back your position. So that's what fuels the most to the upside. And that's what short covering is. So right now they're trapping as much sellers as they can and then focus on another push up, how fast it will be. You'll just see a bunch of buyers coming in. Look at this offer. So you noticed how I marked off this offer. So this is the magnet zone that I talked about at the start of the video, how we can use these big offers that are bigger than the average, to which we can trade towards, because those are interests in the chart. So right now we are still above the 5 and 13 EMA, so we are still good to hold the trade. So right now nothing is really happening. You can see no 3-digit buyer or seller is coming in, so It's a bit of a slow moving market. This is like a pause. And this is where I'm just waiting for that move to happen, that pop. I'm just waiting for some sellers to come in, and you can see that battle is happening right now. You can see how they're buying and selling at this point. So focus on the bids, on the iceberg orders. Even though sellers are coming in, someone is just adding to the bids and they're not able to drop down, and then you see the fast push up. Right now what I'm focused on is if Nasdaq wants to break this high. I'm focused on if this offer will pull, if it's a spoof or if it's not a spoof, and if the S&P can come up to transact on that big offer. So right now those are the things that I'm looking for. I'm constantly just looking for a reason to get out from the trade or a reason to stay in. I love to react. I never like to predict what could happen, but I just react to what I see in real time. This is where we will see a slow move up, still above the 5 EMA, this yellow line, so still no reason to even consider getting out from the trade. But this is where I pay myself with one contract, because I just want to lower my exposure. Because during this session, you can see that previously from this point, they dropped down. So I thought maybe the market memory will get triggered again, and that they might drop down again from this point. So that's why I just got out from 1 micro on the Nasdaq and left to do their thing, and then traded towards the highs. Just like to protect my profits and pay myself where I think it's the best to do. And right here I thought it would be the best to pay myself, even though I could have stayed in the trade and then got out if they broke the 5 EMA, but yeah, we sometimes, we have to learn from mistakes. And so here is the move. You can see right here how the book is empty. It's because these are the highs right here that we are targeting. So no transactions during this session happened up here. So that's what I'm trading towards. You can see how fast Nasdaq will pick up speed. Just focus on the speed and how fast they're moving right now. I'm gonna put it to normal speed. You can see buyers coming in. No one is really selling. 235 on the buys. You can see how I mark off that 235 because it's a bigger buyer than the average. And those are the things that I like to focus on and mark off. So that next time if price push up and for example they come back down to this point where this 235 buyer came in, I want to see that same guy coming in again to protect his position. And then yeah, there's a move up. You can see how fast it moves. Focus on the buyers that are coming in. This is where I reset the delta and reset the orders because I want to see fresh delta. I want to see if some sellers are coming in, if negative delta is building up at the highs, which is a bearish thing. So I want to know those things. As I said, I want to know if I should stay in the trade or get out. I want to look for the reasons. So right now we have hit my TP on the Nasdaq, and this is where I'm just looking to just completely close both trades on the S&P and Nasdaq. I'm just being very careful not to lose any money, not to bleed any money, because I'm already happy with the profits that I have. Right now what I'm focused on is if the delta is negative, if they're building negative delta, as I said, you can see some 3-digit sellers are coming in. I want to see if those sellers are coming in, if they're actually able to drop down. I want to see if maybe someone is pulling from the bids, which you can see is happening. Do you see those sellers that came in? 411, that's a very big seller that is coming in at the highs of the range, at the highs of the charts. And then you see he's actually able to drop down. So that's a clue for me to pay myself with one contract on the S&P as well. So you can see how we're constantly reacting to what we see. We're never married to the trade. And then you see again negative delta on the Nasdaq, same with the S&P. So something is changing. And when I see something like this changing, I just like to get out. And this move up you can see is very fast. And we know that when they move fast to the upside, they can just as easily come back down, which I'm pretty sure happened after I closed my trade. So that was a very good exit point that I had with this trade. You can see now focus on the sellers. Previously what we saw was these sellers right here were on the buy side, and you saw how they moved up, and we saw positive delta. Right now we are at the highs, and what we are seeing is negative delta. We are seeing 3-digit sellers coming in. We can see that when they drop down, they're pulling from the bids instead of the offers. So we're seeing the same things, but in reverse. All of those things we're seeing on the sell side. So you can see how they're spending a lot of time at this zone, and that's something that I don't like. I don't like to see price struggle at the highs, especially after they break a certain high. And that is what we are seeing right now. I'm resetting the delta and the orders again to see what is happening. Again, some 3-digit sellers are coming in, same with the buyers, but they're not able to push up. That's a clue. 118, 134 comes in, and then you see another drop down. This is where my stop loss gets hit on the Nasdaq. There we go. I get out from both positions, and that's a drop. You can see how they broke the 13 EMA. They were trending above it, and now this is the first time they've broken it, and that's exactly what I pay myself. So yeah, guys, that's the trade recap. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really tried to explain everything that I saw in this trade, and I really do hope, as I said, that you guys learned something from it. So yeah,